Okay people, welcome back to another Fwoosh overview. Today let's take a little look at the Pocket World 1/12 scale mask. Okay, I think there's actually been 2 third-party 1/12 scale mask figures solicited within the past year or so. Magic Toys released recently, has it been a couple of months back? And then there was Pocket World. If I remember right, both were pretty similar because I think both were borrowing sculpt work and details from a third-party 1/6 scale mask. I think. I don't keep up with 12-inch, so I recognize the Pocket World name. I wanted a mask figure. Looking at the package, when I first got this out of the box, I thought, wait a second, Mezco didn't make a mask figure. It just has that same kind of presentation. Just a lot more boring. Well, I say boring, it's a box. And it has what I want inside. So who really cares what the outside looks like? It's yellow with a mask logo. Same thing on the side, same thing on the other side. On the back, we get a picture of the actual, mask itself, but not a lot of anything else. Warning, choking hazard. Do not put questionable plastic in your mouth. Got some logos on top. Got the logo again on bottom. There's Pocket World. But let's get this open, see what's going on. I'm hoping there is a plastic tray in here holding everything together. If not, oh, okay, yeah. Double trade even. Have some protective plastic over the head sculpt. Okay, I like that. And wow, I mean, I am super impressed here. And if I sound surprised, it's just that, ordering from a company that you're not familiar with. I think I've heard of Pocket World in solicitations and such, but I've never handled one. But now that I've had this out for a minute or 2 or 20, man, it is nice having a Jim Carrey mask figure. I think I've said this before, like the Felix Toys ink blot, the not Rorschach. Some of these smaller companies are just smoking the competition. You see what I did there? The material is nice and thin, which does make it flat in places when it's just hanging there, but oh, it does so much to make it feel like a larger figure. Like the clothes are naturally draping on a person. It's almost well, I don't know what, I'm no good with cloth. I'm a plastic guy, you know what I mean? But they have the seam line running down the side of the pants. They even have a pocket, I believe. Is that look at that. Yeah, you can put stuff in his pockets. The jacket is double layer, so it has the polka dot pattern on the inside while, that yellow on the out. Little buttons in places. Is this a real pocket too? No, okay, that's just a fake flap, but hey. The illusion's there. And got a handkerchief in the pocket. Yep. Shirt underneath is the same material, I guess, just in white, making it very shirt-like. Got a collar, got the tie tied around it. One thing that is bugging me since I've got it out, the tie keeps wanting to kind of lodge itself into the right collar piece. And I'll bring it out and around, and it just kind of works its way back in there. I may have to mess with that later. I think it's an elastic band going around the neck. The tie has 2 pieces. It has a nice pattern to it. The thing that surprised me, though, is actual suspenders. I got some faux leather right there with a band going down and attaching into the pants, I believe. And yeah, it's even attached in the back, too. The collar on the jacket's nice. It is separated, but it doesn't want to flip up on you. The jacket right here has a kick to it that catches my eye because it's not on the other side. It's there, but they've done a better job of, well, I guess it's sewn right there. I don't know how this works. It looks good. It's just, I'm trying to nitpick it, I guess. Like the tie. It's not a problem. I just keep trying to pull it over here. I get no respect. There's a nice rubberiness to the hands, and on top of that, just a good color. Look at that. It seems very fleshy. The shoes with the spats up on top, they come up to the ankle. And again, you can see the body underneath is skin tone too. When I first looked at that, I thought, there's no way that's getting any kind of... it does get quite a bit of movement. But the main attraction is this. This just came out way better than I thought it would. The solicitation pictures were nice, but there was a roughness. Having this in hand, the sheen here, the subtle shading, you can see kind of a yellowish green and then a darker green used in the grooves. The eyes are downright remarkable. Just a fantastic glossiness to them. The detail, how they stick out from the green. Same with the teeth, but because they're bigger, I guess. Look at those chompers. It's easier to see the slight paint roughness, but I can't complain. Look, it's still super nice. The head and neck is all one piece. That comes into play with the accessories. And that's a nice transition. It looks like the mask is kind of stretched around his head here and there. Again, with this skin tone down here. Just overall, I mean, it is the design of the character. It was striking in the movie, but the yellows, the whites, the kind of craziness inside, but the plainness, even though it is a yellow suit on the outside, and then the green mask. It all just works together. Going over articulation, unfortunately, there is just kind of a, well, I don't know, is that a separate piece that moves around in there? Oh, well, hell it is. It's a dumbbell under the attachment right here. There's definitely left and right on there, but then you get back a little, some forward, tilt, some tilt. Not great because one, the articulation point is down here somewhere, and two, there's nothing above it, so you're just kind of stuck with this. Shoulder seems to have some butterfly to it, some up and down maybe, but because of how tight the jacket is, it doesn't come up a lot. You can see it stretching. Please come back down. So as nice as it looks, how tight it is and how naturally it drapes, it does get in the way. Hinges up, feels like a bicep swivel right about there. Shoulders are hindered, elbows aren't. There's a double under there and it does come all the way up. Swivel hinge swivel at the wrist, can turn it, can hinge it, can turn it, and then, you know, you move it to wherever you want, up and down, side to side, whatever. Something at the mid-torso feels like a dumbbell because, well, I don't know. Something feels here and something feels here. Crunch a little, can arc back, some tilt. Rotation, hip, goes up to there, goes back, out. Oh, man. Swivel at the thigh. Double knee. Oh, again, like the elbows, come most of the way up. I'm not sure if that's a cut, but there is a dumbbell, I think, down in the shoe that allows for this, and even some of this. For accessories, there are two gripping hands, itty bitty wrist pegs, but because of the rubberiness of the hands, it works in its favor. It's not just falling off, but it still pulls off. And putting other ones on, because again, of what they're made of, just pop right on. There's also these hands and these hands. There's also these hands, more gentle grip. These work with other accessories. And then these hands, which are even more accessory specific. These hands are for this, and I'm honestly surprised this hasn't already been lost to the carpet monster. Dropped it twice, it hasn't fallen to the floor, but I figured this is the last time I see this thing. Let's see if I can even do this. Again, the fingers are rubbery. Oh man, I don't know if I did it. I figure if I pose this on the shelf like this for any amount of time, those will eventually flex it out, like boop, pop it on out. So I'm enjoying it while I can. Also comes with a couple of bundles of money. I think you're supposed to separate these because they are separate bills. And again, because of the flexiness, it works so well. Yeah, there you go. That hand can also be used to hold the mask itself. The sculpt, the browns, the heavy shading, it just looks aged. There's this mallet, simply a cylinder on the end of a stick. It does have some sculpt with the bands though, and then the yellow and the red paint. And that's what the grip hands are for. And if I remember correctly, in the movie, when he had the mallet, he was trying to shut off the alarm clock. And there, again, just a very nice little accessory. Have a nice hat, the yellow and the black. It has some flexiness to it. In the package, the money bundles were in a plastic bag, very tightly wrapped. So I just went cutting with my snips and then realized, oh, there's actually some other accessories in there, like some feathers. So be careful with that because the feather is very small and very thin. Oops. It took me a minute to realize what was actually going on. I had forgotten that the hat had a feather in it. And it took me even longer than that to realize there is a hole right there. The end of it has a little mushroom to it, so yeah, I'm having a bear of a time trying to get it down in there. I hate to do it, but I may have to snip that off. Yeah, snip the end a little bit, dab of super glue, and then putting it on the head because of that flexiness to it, it just goes straight down on there. Dapper. Oh no, that's another use for this hand, I guess. Look at that. There's the Edge City savings and loan money bags that he can just toss over his shoulder. Stuffed with money, but in real life, this is like some kind of foam or cotton or something. Then there's this. Again, I wasn't expecting this to be as nice as it is. The transitions from the lighter greens to the darker greens, the paintwork on the nose and the eyes and inside the ears. This is great. The way this is cut, it kind of angles up and out. It's a super tight fit on there. Oh, well, I guess he's supposed to be leaning forward, and that's what these hands are for on the table, isn't it? But remember, this also had a hat, and it's not the same hat. It's different. It kind of changes its shape to a wider top, and then the inside smaller to fit this little itty bitty dome. But again, you got another feather. This hole is right here, and it actually had paint over it. I had to take the end of my tweezers here and poke into it. Again, with a little trimming, a little super glue, it stays in there. To finish off the set, there is Milo. And again, I know I've said this several times, but it is better than I expected. There's even more color to it. In fact, there's more paint on this than any of the actual mask parts. I mean, look at that. There's the teeth, there's the gums. There's more of a transition from green to the fur color almost, and the silver of the collar and the spikes. This may be my favorite accessory this year. It's a statue, but it's a good looking statue. Let's not forget about the stand, because again, this caught me off guard. Well, not the feature, but how tight it actually is. It is a nice stand, but most of all, you can open it like a drawer and store the accessories. It is narrow though, so if you want to put the hands in there, there's going to be some squashing to them. For me, it's mostly going to be about keeping that from getting lost. Maybe that, some of these, the other one, and really that's the only accessories that'll fit in there. But it's the tiniest ones, the ones I was worried about losing, so safe and secure. The mask stands at about 6¼ inches tall. Here's the best comparisons I can give you when it comes to Mezco. The Joker, who is also dude in suit, and then the Netflix Daredevil. So runs a little small for your 1/12 collective. It's more in line with the Felix Toys Joaquin Phoenix Joker. Did they call this clown? Comedian? Comedian, maybe. But then their ink blot runs bigger, so still a hell of a toy though. I think this is Bullet Head Heath Ledger Joker. I can't remember what it was called. And then the TB League Vampirella. And it wouldn't look too out of place, well, except for the cloth, you know what I mean, against your Hasbro Star Wars Black Series or your Marvel Legends. So at the end of the day, I think I said this back when it was solicited, I didn't even know I needed a Jim Carrey mask figure in my collection. And now I have one, and I couldn't be happier. Well, okay, the movement is hindered, especially in the shoulders, but I've found myself being able to work around that for the most part. Okay, and I will say the accessories add a lot of options to the posability, but I guess I do wish there was a couple of extra heads just to get some different facial expressions in there. But as a base mask figure, yeah, I am so happy I pre-ordered this. Not that it's sold out, it is still available on 5K Toys where I pre-ordered this. So if you're needing one, the link is in the description. Oh man, this is gonna pop in the display. The yellow, just, whew, where's the mask figure? Right there. So if you enjoyed the review, comment, like, subscribe. Much love to the plus if you're interested in seeing videos early or in a position to help out the channel, patreon.com. Wherever you may be watching this, I'll always catch you on the Fwoosh. Oh yeah, especially the park scene. If I remember right, everything he pulls out of his jacket, that would be a hell of an accessory pack. I'd buy it, a couple of extra heads, some more accessories, maybe even a Jim Carrey head, because this comes with the mask, but you can't really use it with this figure because he's wearing the mask. But it's a nice accessory if you want to stick it into other figures' hands. Oh man, the possibilities just fly in. And that's always the sign of a good action figure, right?